Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Behind the Groove podcast. I am DJ Keo.
And I am Basil Barrington, and we are back with the final, I guess it's the season finale,
Yes.
episode number 7, The Book of Boba Fett. Where are we
Now,
here?
do you
In the
think this is a
name of
series
honor.
finale? You think this is the series finale for the whole show or a season finale? Will they make
Wow,
another
okay.
season?
Okay, wow. Well, they called it the season finale, so I'm just going with that. And on
Well,
IMDb, they're saying like 2022 hyphen. So,
yeah. No, it looks like it's still open, but I'm just like, it honestly, it felt like an addendum to Mandalorian. It didn't
oh my
feel like
goodness.
another show.
That, we're gonna
It's the
get
same
into that, but
characters.
you are so
Yeah.
right. I mean, Amy Sedaris was in there. What's her name, Pelly.
Mhm.
Grogu was back. Grogu kind of saved the day.
Yeah.
You had Mando. You're right. It
It
felt
felt
like
like
a
it's
Mandalorian
a
episode.
yeah, it felt like a Mandalorian 2.5 or
Yeah.
2.6.
Wow,
It was like an
that is
update. I don't
crazy.
know.
I
I
mean, the special effects were cool. The
yeah.
fights and the battles were cool. Um,
Mhm,
th- you know, here's the thing, right?
mhm.
Boba Fett should have been like this every episode. Something popping off,
Yes,
someone fighting,
100%, yeah.
saving lives, saving their own lives,
Do doing
meeting
cool
new
things.
people, doing cool things, even if it's on those red, green, and blue big wheels, doing cool things, right? You
Yeah, but,
know,
like, when the Mandalorian and Boba Fett were fighting, I was like, "Oh, this is awesome.
yeah,
Sign me up for more of this." They had the
yeah.
jetpacks on, they're shooting the high ground,
That's,
using
I mean,
blasters. I was like, "Oh."
so that's what you expect from Mandalorian and Boba Fett.
I wanted 7 episodes of that. That's what I
Seven
wanted.
episodes of that would have been dope because episode 6 was
Mhm.
good. I
Yeah,
think
it got
episode
better.
7 was better. I'm not
Yeah,
saying it
yeah.
was great. I'm just saying it was better. But here we are, like the season
Mhm,
finale, 7 episodes. And we
mhm.
both said that, you know what? Episode 7, which is like the last episode of the season, it's got to be bang
Yeah.
bang. He's got
Yeah,
to do it
yeah.
right. But I think they brought it together in a weird way. I don't know if this is you made a good point. You said, is this the
Mhm,
season or the series? Because it
mhm.
felt like they were just trying to piggyback off of what's happening or what may happen in season 3 for the
Yeah.
Mandalorian, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It there's a connection to what's going on in season 3 of Mandalorian for sure.
Hmm.
So I think there's something to that. But, overall, like, I like this episode better than the previous ones for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah,
What would you rate the whole season? Like, all 7 episodes together in a package, what would you rate it?
dude. I mean, it's a lot to consider because they're gonna get the graphics and the CGI down, right?
Yeah, all
That's
that
going
was
to be
good.
on point. That's going to be
All
on
that was
point.
good.
But I just think like the character building, like the different characters they were using,
Mhm.
just how slow the show sort of like moved. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
I
don't
mean, a 5 or a 6.
I don't it still bothers me
What
the
about
way
you?
Boba Fett was talking. Like, I
Yeah.
couldn't get past that. He seems like, "Ah, everybody, I'm going to do," like, he said this kinda labored speech, and it was, like, really exaggerated rather than, like, because before, he just talked like a normal person, but he was talking, like, some way
Excuse me.
like, I don't know, it seemed really contrived the way he had to say every sentence. Like,
And
it was kinda dumb. So, my rating for the show, 5.
yeah, see, I was thinking 5 or 6.
5.
Listen, I know people are going to flame us because if you go back to IMDb, I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah,
this train has a 7.7.
yeah, like, for the
This
overall,
episode.
people liked it. No, people like the show.
Mhm.
I don't know if we're contrarians or we're just being overly critical because people like the show. I personally don't think that I can push my ideas about what I thought about the show on other people. If you liked it, great. If you don't like it, that's also cool too.
True.
I
That's true.
wasn't going in there to hate it because, like, I did research this week. I watched Clone Wars, the anime series. I watched a good chunk of that. I just sat there. I was binging it for a couple days.
Dude, once you start, it's a binge fest,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes. And then I watched Attack of the Clones. Actually,
Mhm.
the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. And then I watched Empire Strikes Back. So
Mhm.
I was binging on Star Wars this entire week, trying to get me into my frame of mind. And then I watched the last show, and I was like, it feels like Star Wars, but it doesn't feel like Star Wars. Like
Yeah.
it's like something's a little bit missing. Like it's just slightly off. It's like if you're looking at a painting and it's slightly crooked, that's what this show is to me. Like it didn't fit somehow. Like something's weird. But
Yeah.
like you want to get into the rundown about what happened in the episode?
Yes, but let me just say one other thing. You also said something like, I think we were talking
Mhm.
about this offline, how the Mandalorians, Boba Fett and Mando, they
Mhm.
look like Mandalorian with the jetpacks, pulling
Yeah.
out, moving fast, the whole nine. You know,
Mhm.
when they were stable on ground, that's when things got a little
Yeah, it got slow
different.
and wonky.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man, you want to give a quick overview and then we can get into it?
Okay, so basically, the episode revolves around that casino thing that got blown to bits
Mhm.
in the last episode. So they all go there and they decide what they're gonna do. I had a problem with this in one regard. So Boba Fett says, "Hey, everybody, we should go back to
Yeah.
Jabba the Hutt thing
Yep.
palace." And then the girl that's on the scooter was like, "No, we should stay here." And he's like, "I guess we should stay here." Like, dude, who's in charge?
You're the
You're
crime
paying
lord.
her. You're the boss. What are you doing? Why are you telling? She said you should stay here. He's like, okay. Like he literally said, okay.
I think
Everything everybody tells him is like, okay.
I think the other thing was the girl and the guy, they were basically, I think his name is Drash and her name is, I can't remember. But
Hey,
they
some
were
Star Wars
basically
like
saying,
name.
we're gonna stay because we're going to protect the people. He was about to roll out.
Yeah.
And you took this teenager, this millennial was like, no, 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 we're going to stay and protect the people, our people. He didn't think of that like right off the top first, right?
Yeah, that's a good
Mhm.
point. That's also a good point. But like
Yeah,
realistically, they were doing that to send a message to him, but they were gonna fight him wherever he goes. Like
yeah.
when the crime bosses start talking, they're like, "Well, he's back there. He's hunkered down." They were gonna go there anyway. So I think you could have taken the fight out of the city and brought it to your palace. It would have been fine.
It'd have been
They would have
fine.
came there anyway.
Yeah.
So like they get together and they plan out their strategy, and then Finnick tells us the strategy word for word, like she's talking to them like they're children. I thought that was hilarious. I laughed at that because like they do the recap for the viewers of all the plan is going to be, but
Yeah.
she's talking to them in a tone like they don't know what the plan is. It was just silly the way they set that up. But anyway, so their plan was they're going to set up all these people around the city, and they all got ambushed. Which again, to me, Boba Fett is unaware of how this thing is run, how to be a gangster. He's confused about how being a gangster works. He trusted everybody. Like, why are you still trusting these people? I don't understand that. Why would you still trust
Dude,
these people? They're all criminals. They're all trying to stab your back. They'll be there. Oh, they promised us they're not going to fight us, so we should be good to go. What are you talking about?
the other factions were like, oh, well, we're on your side. It's like, no. I mean, someone's like,
No,
okay, how much is he paying you? 1 million? I'm gonna give you 2 million so you can like roll with me.
exactly,
Okay, cool.
exactly. That was
It's
just
business.
silly to me. It was absolutely silly to me. So they start the running out. Now let me ask you this before we
What's
get
up?
into keep going into rundown. Did it feel like it was the same 10 extras running back and forth for the Pike gang?
Yo, I know what you mean because I was like, well, wait a minute. Like, I kept looking at outfits, right? I was like, well, they have the same outfit on, and I was like,
Yeah,
well, so I thought it was a loop or something.
it
Um,
felt like the same 10 people were jumping, the same stunt people.
right. but they, well, you really couldn't tell with the Pikes. It could have been the same two people with the Pikes, right? They had on
Exactly.
like,
Yeah.
so it was
They
just
got
like
the same uniform and
one
the helmet
person,
and
two
everything.
people, and let's just like virtually put them wherever we need to, So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you did have a lot of people like just in the streets, shooting at Boba Fett and his crew. So
Mhm.
they did have a lot of people on this set, but it felt like a little loopy
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I
It
was
felt
just
like the
looking
same
like,
people were.
what's up with the uniforms,
It's like a play that we got 100 people here, and then 10 people come out, then they go backstage, and then 10
Mhm.
more people come out. That's what it felt like.
Yeah,
It kind of felt staged instead of like a real, like they could have CGI'd 20 more people in the background not doing anything. It just give you the
really
impression that there's more people.
real
Yeah.
simple to do.
So they start the siege, and everybody's getting bodied left and right, which I thought I expected more out of the Wookiee guy, because the way he said, like, he came down to Boba Fett's palace, whoever, and just he was just throwing people left, right, and center. And I thought that he was going to do that when he was just getting punches in the face. I was like, what's happened to this guy?
Yeah, it's just
I
like,
don't know. It's kind of interesting.
yeah.
They all in the individual things before they grouped up, and it got cool again. They were just getting slapped around the face like it was kind of silly.
And what about the Gamorreans, man? The Gamorreans are always getting
They
switched up,
sh
aren't they?
they shoved him off a cliff. I've never laughed so hard.
They are always getting switched up. When you look at any Star Trek sort of episode or a movie
Yeah,
series,
yeah,
whatever, the Gamorreans
yeah.
are always getting switched up. They're just like really big, strong
They're punching
goons.
bags.
That's it.
They're punching bags. That's it. But
Yeah.
like when they pushed him off the cliff and they're like they looked at their feet, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. That was like a it reminded me of like a Bugs Bunny thing or something. Yeah.
I'm gonna choke on
Exactly.
my cognac and whatnot. For real, that was like Bugs Bunny and whatnot, like a Roadrunner joint. It's
You
just
know, they
like,
put the flag and you, oh no, like
exactly.
that's what it
That
looked
is,
like.
it's like, wow. They just like, and you know what? Boba Fett and his crew, they said nothing about the Gamorreans. Nothing at
Yeah, they
all.
were like, "Oh my god, I wonder where these guys are at. They're supposed to
Yeah.
show up." Like,
They didn't even ask like where the Gamorreans, just like didn't do anything, but
yeah,
yeah,
they don't give a crap about those
it's
dudes, man.
crazy, man. The
Guys in the
Gamorreans.
diapers, they're like, "Oh well, we'll get more." Uh,
You said those guys are in diapers and whatnot.
I
Like
feel
that
bad,
George
man.
Clinton guy. Like who was the guy like in the George Clinton band? He wore a
Oh yeah,
diaper.
in Parliament, like,
Yeah, something,
yeah, yeah, with
man.
it was like a bass player or something. I remember you talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting back on track here, Gamorreans took an L. Wookiee took an L. The space kids and the space bikes there, they took kind of L's too. And but like everybody they were okay except for the Gamorreans. They were the ones that got screwed.
Yeah.
They fell off a cliff and no one now they didn't show up and they didn't ask any questions. So like everybody groups up back at the casino thing and they get help from the city folk. Where they're the who's the Freetown.
Yeah.
Freetown shows up in a carrier with like 5 people.
It
I thought
looked
there
like
was
it
more
was
people.
about 10 people.
Okay, so 10 people showed up in the carrier.
Mhm.
They should have more vehicles.
The
They only have one
gunship. It was
vehicle.
the gunship. It had one turret on top, but it
Yeah.
didn't last for long.
Yeah, it didn't last at all. Like, how'd they
No.
blow up the turret? All right, that's fine. Like that happens. All right, I wasn't mad at that. I was like, okay, that's cool. So they're hiding behind the turret. They're pinned down, and it looked dire. It did not look good right there.
Didn't look good at all.
Yeah. So these guys, they decided to break up? Oh, when the scorpion, whatever the thing is, showed up, they all fled.
Oh
The
yeah,
scorpion, whatever.
those
I know
those
what they
battle
call
droids.
yeah, I know what they call them. Damn, what's the name in the Star
They look a
Wars?
lot smaller in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I forgot what they call them in Star Wars though. I cannot. I'm blanking right now on the
They
name.
were huge though. I was like, man, these are pretty big.
Yeah, yeah. So these show up. Everybody runs. They run for it, and everybody's shooting at the thing with the lasers and the shield. And I put my hat in my head. I was like, come on, bro. Why
Like,
are you wasting your time?
let
Like
me
it's
let me
not
just.
working.
You mean to tell me, okay,
Mm-hmm.
after, I don't know, 20 seconds maybe. I'm being
Yeah.
conservative here. After 20 seconds of trying to shoot this shield, you didn't
Mhm.
realize that this is not working. We need to think of something else.
Yes.
And why didn't anyone think about, and again, I'm going back to the Clone Wars, but
Mhm.
why didn't anyone think about, well, you know what? Why not just roll like a bomb or something underneath the shield? And that's how it's
Mhm.
done. Like in the Clone Wars, they were just like they would roll
Oh,
like a
it's probably
bomb underneath. Yeah, you know,
yeah.
because I guess down there it was easier for something to slip through. But
Mhm.
I don't know, man. It was just like
Oh, they
really,
did super shield, and they're shooting at it for 20 minutes.
yeah.
For half of this episode, they were shooting at the shield, and nothing was happening.
Like, what do you think
And I was
is
like,
going
that
to
is the way.
happen after 20 minutes? You keep shooting this thing,
Yeah.
nothing's happening. What's going on?
And
I
the
don't
thing about it
understand.
too is that it doesn't seem to have any defenses in the back. So I would have been trying to figure out how to do something from behind.
It was
Okay.
very slow to turn around because something was
Yeah.
happening behind it. So, you could have figured something out for real.
Yeah. Because Mandalorian was like, let's oh wait. He kept walking around it, like slowly. He was walking around it, avoiding
Right.
the blast, and it was working.
Yep.
So that seemed like a teamwork get together geniuses. Why couldn't the mod kids do something with their mods? Like, what's the point of the mods for if you can't use them for anything? You
You
just got
know,
an arm and you got your whatever your Borg thing on your
telescope.
eye. Yeah, he's got yeah,
I can
he's
see
got his
you.
bottle
Mhm.
cap. And yeah, they were pinned down for a minute. Now, this is the thing that I questioned why Boba Fett did this,
Mhm.
because Boba Fett has his slave one ship back at the Hutt's palace, right?
Right. Right.
He went there and took off the what's the thing called, the big monster. Um,
Oh, the
um,
Rancone. The
yeah, Rancor, yeah.
Rancor.
So he took off the Rancor, and that's the thing that he decided to he's gonna walk back to the city with. And instead, he could have flew there in seconds with his ship,
Mhm.
and he has bigger missiles and guns and stuff on the ship.
Right.
So why wouldn't he use the ship? And the ship could blow up the shield easier.
Right. Oh, that's a very good point. And but he also said that that those droids would basically destroy the city. But here he is on the Rancor, and the
Mhm.
Rancor is destroying the city, knocking buildings
Right.
down and everything else. So it's just like, dude, you might as well just get the ship and just blow these fools right out the box. I don't
Rancor,
understand this. What's going
the
on?
Rancor went nuts after he knocked Boba Fett off, and he just smashed up half the city. I'm like, yo, you could have done you could have shot your ship in there, two missiles, done and done,
That's it.
episode over.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been like you could have made it a dogfight, or he damaged part of the ship, so he's got to land and fight it by hand or whatever. Like I'm like okay with that, but the Rancor caused as much damage as these things were, the Scorpion, whatever, destroyers,
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
I think
Like
they
I
are
didn't.
called Scorpions.
Yeah, I know the
Mhm.
what's the name? Call it
The
Scorpion
battle
something.
droids, they're called
Yeah, the
Scorpions, I
battle
think.
droid. Yeah, let's both take our sip here and
You
then
know,
draw this
but
too
my sip
close.
is a little brown.
Yeah, I have water in here. I don't have vodka, so that's for later. But
Yeah,
that's basically the show. And
yeah.
Mandalorian discovers Baby Yoda, and they decide to Grogu.
Grogu.
He stops one of the destroyer things that was going to step on him. He saves his life, and he's able to cut it up with a dark saber. How come the dark saber couldn't cut through that shield?
Yeah, I was just like, why? Do you think
Yes,
a Jedi could have gotten through that shield or what? Well,
that's
they
like I
would have
don't.
thought about doing something smarter, like
Well, yeah, they would
rolling
have
a
done something
bomb.
smarter.
Yeah,
They would have flipped
exactly.
it over on its head or something. They could have lifted it up or
Right,
whatever.
exactly.
They would have came up with a better solution. I don't know if a lightsaber could have got through. Uh, it's an energy, so like I would have figured that an energy shield would have kind of some kind of issues with that kind of weapon that's that powerful. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. If in the comment section, let me know if I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Dark saber couldn't do anything. But so what basically happened to the shield? It kind of got hit too much or whatever, and it kind of winged it in certain sections.
I
Like, how
think
did
so
that work?
because he was able to sort of almost like split it and then like walk through it, remember? So it was just like, what did he
Yeah,
do? How
because
did that
his
happen?
shield changed another color
Right.
when they were shooting it with the kinetic
When the
weapon, but
Rancor was like scratching it, and that's how he got in. So
yeah.
wow,
Well, yeah,
that's
well, there's 2 of
crazy.
them, but, I don't know.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Okay, here we are, 7
Mhm,
episodes. The season is done. Loki
mhm,
was only 6 episodes, by the way.
mhm.
I kind of like these short seasons. What do you think about these short seasons?
It's easier to go through and binge for
Yeah.
sure. It's a
Mhm.
lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, even if they're
Yeah, if you
feeding
was
it
someone
to
knocked
us
out.
once a week, it's just 6 or 7 weeks, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's not that bad. I don't mind the short season, but, like, if you can do a short season, I would prefer if you do, like Sherlock that was on the BBC. They would do an episode that's, like, an hour and 40 minutes long,
Dude,
and they only did 3 episodes, but, like, each
are you
episode
talking
was a
about the one
movie.
with Benedict
You know,
Cumberbatch?
Cumberbatch. Yeah,
Man,
Cumberbatch.
he killed it, didn't he? He killed
That's a
it.
great show.
I was
That was a
like,
great show.
that was the first time I actually was introduced to him as an actor, and I was just like, "Oh, I
Mhm.
love this guy. This guy is awesome." And then I started watching his other stuff, and I'm like, "Man, he is really
Yeah, he's a
good.
good actor. He's a
He
good
is
actor, but, like,
good."
but that's to say, like, their motto is or their philosophy is, like, "We're gonna do 3 long movies." It's
Yeah,
kinda like a mini series or whatever.
that was
They
really
just
a
make 'em
great idea.
as good as they can be, 3
Mhm.
episodes, that's all you get. I'm
Yeah,
fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, but I
yeah.
think for Disney's sake, they wanna stretch it out as long as possible with the budget they're gonna give them. Because I don't think that this budget was the same as Mandalorian at all, on any
E-
level.
Even though they
This
use the
budget
same
seems
studio
cheaper.
and everything, probably use
It's
again. They use the same everything. Speaking
yeah,
of
but,
the
like
Mandalorian, go ahead.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, speaking of the Mandalorian, and again, we spoke
Mhm,
about this earlier and offline before we started the show.
mhm,
Um, do you think that the last 3 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett was all about the
mhm.
Mandalorian, right?
Yeah.
And then the last 2 episodes were all about the Mandalorian and Grogu. Mind you,
Mhm,
he brought some people from the Mandalorian with him, like Peli, um,
mhm,
you know, and then the droids and all the whole mechanical spot where they fix these different spaceships and everything. So it kind of
mhm.
felt like um, a Mandalorian episode. And then and
Yeah.
let's not forget 3 episodes and Boba Fett spoke in only one.
Yeah. And he got bossed around in that episode, they started talking again, so there's
Right.
that too.
So the question is, do you think I
Mhm.
went all the way around for that? The question is, do you think this felt more like a Mandalorian episode more so than a Book of Boba Fett episode?
Well, I think yes, I do, but I think the problem is that the premise for why he was doing what he's doing in the first place is, like, maybe 2 episodes long, stretched off into 7 for some reason, and they needed filler, so they just took off leftover shows from Mandalorian and put it on the Boba Fett. That's what it felt like. Like, if say they
Yeah,
had
that's
shows that
true.
they cut that didn't
Mhm.
like, this doesn't make sense or it's running too long, they put that part from The Mandalorian into the Boba Fett show to make his thing longer. This thing with I'm gonna run the town, you could have done this in 2 episodes easily.
With the
'Cause what
right
else
crew.
happened? Think about what else happened. He's
Mhm.
standing around, he's talking to people, he's going with the Tusken Raiders, then he's talking to the Jawas and whatever. Like nothing happened. A lot of nothing happened. He did the thing with the
That
train.
is so true.
All that
Mhm.
could have been done in 2 episodes.
That's true.
You could you could have shrunk it down. There's no reason for it. So they stretch it off for a while, and it seems like they're padding the show. That's why one of my biggest issues is that one, it was stuck on the planet Tatooine. I'm tired of the sand. I'm like Anakin. I'm tired of the sand. And two, this thing could have he could easily done this thing in 2 episodes. It's stretch it off for those. It just dragged on and on. You
Yeah.
should have went somewhere. You should have went off planet first of all, and it was too. It felt like it was dragging for no reason. That's why everything was about the show is he didn't know. You don't know how gangsters do your thing. You don't know where you collect the money from. You don't know who's in charge. You don't know who these guys, pipe guys are. Like, dude, What do you know?
This is your crew, man. This is your show, you know. Um, I think that this show actually did feel like the definitely the
Mm,
last three episodes, definitely the last episode felt like just setting us up
mm.
for the next season for The Mandalorian. Let's not forget,
100%.
right?
Mhm.
Grogu had two saves in this
Yeah.
episode. I mean, Grogu kind of saved the day. Think about it.
Yeah, he did. He
This
did
is
because they're
Boba Fett.
yeah, because they ran out of time with the first machine, whatever, and then Boba Fett stopped the other one.
Yeah,
Like they were screwed with the first one if
yeah.
they kept going.
They had Grogu did two saves that saved like the town basically, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so I
Yeah,
don't know.
he stopped the Rancor. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. He's
it
cute.
also felt like, and tell me what you think about this. What I'm about to say. It also felt like um, the Mandalorian wasn't as swift as he was in his own show on Boba Fett. You
Yeah.
notice that
Oh, yeah, for
he
sure.
was getting hurt and
Well,
stuff like that, man. Oh, you know, just getting all
yeah,
switched
he's
up
getting
too.
bodied up.
Yeah,
Well, like, neither of the Mandalorians, well, Boba Fett included, but, like, neither of them felt exactly proficient at their job.
yeah,
They neither of them felt like, "Oh, this guy can handle this by themselves," because 'cause they're both designed to handle this by themselves.
mhm,
Like, they're one-man wrecking shoes, that's what the armor's for.
yeah.
And both of them seem like they're struggling to do anything. And the cat. What do you? Well, okay. What do you think about the conclusion with Cad Bane?
Okay, that was my next question I was going to ask. Okay, my question is kind of the same. What do you think about like how
Mhm.
Cad Bane went down? Um, I'm dude. Okay, last week I was like Cad Bane, man. He doesn't take any mess, you know.
Yeah, that's why I was
Um,
watching the Clone Wars to kind of see the shows that he was in,
right.
just to see like how he was bad. He was badass.
He's a gun for hire.
Wrecking
He's
stuff.
he's
Yeah,
a
he was
bounty
wrecking
hunter,
shop.
and he generally rolls solo, right? And
Yeah.
again, like I said, in and out, get his, create
Mhm.
chaos, bounce, but yeah, when he got, you know what, to be honest with you, I don't think he's dead. What was the sort of blinking lights on his chest that they showed after
Oh,
Boba
it's
Fett
Star Wars,
stabbed
man. They
him?
can heal anything. They can change your heart. They can do whatever they want. They can
Right,
put your arm on.
so
Star Wars.
it was kind of weird that he went down so swiftly like that, almost
Mhm.
like they kept talking about, oh, you're old. No, I'm old. No, you're old. You notice that too? It's just like,
Yeah.
you're an old man, blah, 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 blah. Boba Fett used to work for Cad Bane back in the day when he
Mhm.
was younger. So it was just like, oh, and then for Cad Bane to go down like that, Cad Bane is swift, it's just like, and I
Mhm.
was just so hoping that, maybe there was a Cad Bane TV series or something, but I guess I don't know if that's going to happen, but I
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
you know
think
what's
he's
funny?
not dead. I don't think he's dead.
If they did make a Cad Bane series,
Mhm.
it would be exactly what the Boba Fett should have been. You know what I'm saying? Like he would be doing the type of adventures that Boba Fett should have been doing in this show.
I think they also realize if they do a Cad Bane,
Mm.
because think about it, right? Cad Bane is he travels like Boba Fett used to travel. He's all over the place, right?
Yeah, he's all over the place.
It's a lot easier to do that in the animated show. I keep talking about the animated stuff, but it's a lot easier to do that in the animated show, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I was surprised that he was taken down so easily, and
Yeah, he's standing over him monologuing. That doesn't
yeah,
seem like he would do that in the show.
I'm also
He's
kind of
more of an
surprised.
action.
I'm also surprised that Boba Fett was taken down so easily as well.
I mean,
You
he's
know,
been washed this entire
he
episode. The
said,
whole season.
I'm quicker than you," and I was just like, "Oh my goodness, this sounds like a a playground fight or something like that, right?" And I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
"Okay, here we go," right? But I'm
I
surprised
wanted to
Cad Bane
see
was
them duke
killed.
it out rather than he do the
Yeah,
shot, he lays him down, he stands over him, and
right,
he trips him over, and that's the end of the
right.
thing. I was hoping that they were gonna do a shootout, jumping and running around and all that kind of stuff.
I
That
didn't
seemed
see
kind of lame.
I didn't, the other thing was I didn't see any like really dope. I mean, just like, oh, I remember that like fight scenes between Boba Fett and
Everything's
someone
forgettable.
else. It was just like he was
Everything's
just
forgettable.
shooting from a distance, and I was just like, dude, I mean, like, where's the fights? Where are the kicks, the side kicks? Everything else.
Yeah.
The just come on. I mean, it
Well,
was.
he did have the knee guns though. That was cool. I was like, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, but those
He had the
knee
guns on his
missiles,
knees.
the knee missiles were very tiny though. They were like this
Yeah.
tiny. What about old girl who had like the little small 22? The little
Oh,
gun she had.
what are we doing
Dude,
here?
she had a
We're
gun
about to
this
go to war.
She had a gun this small. I was like, that looks like a 22.
That's all she brought to this battle. That's the only thing she brought. Are you kidding me?
She brought. She had that little gun. I was just like, this is what I'm talking about, right?
That's insane.
Sort of,
The casting and the people who do the props and stuff like that, she didn't be like, whoa, what the hell are we doing here? Get her a bigger gun. Like,
I'm like, what is this
put a
all
rocket
about?
in her
She
arm
has
or
a
something.
small gun, and I was just
That
like,
was silly.
yeah, I'm like,
Okay,
I don't know.
let me ask you this real quick.
What's up? What's up?
Have the mods done anything cool to justify their existence? The
No,
mods and the scooters. Like, could this
absolutely
episode
not.
have happened without them and still been fine?
It would have been fine. You would think that with the mods, you would think that with the mods, that they would have these special capabilities, these special abilities,
like
right?
A flamethrower in the arm, or
Right,
like
just
a hook,
or something.
grappling
Almost
hook.
like I keep thinking about like the X-Men, how they evolved, and then these mutant have like these different powers, right? Like, I mean, if you're gonna like, jerry rig yourself, why not give yourself some like super duper powers, right? Just like
got a regular arm just looks like a skeleton.
Right.
Like, what'd you do that? Wouldn't you get a better arm?
Right. It's almost like Grievous, how like, he'll have like 2, and the next thing he has 8 arms, and it's just like, dude, exactly. This is crazy. It's just they didn't. She had a 22.
She came in there with this.
It was like pow, 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 and I was just like, really?
She went to war with the Syndicate with the starter pistol. That's what we're dealing with right now.
Dude, Keo, I really want to like this show, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, everybody does.
Yes. And you know what? If you read the comments on IMDb, people love this show, dude. This show is like the godsend, right?
I disagree with that. 100%.
I totally disagree with this. I'm just like, you want to love it because, I'm totally into like the Mandalorian. I love the Star Wars stuff,
Yeah,
but this
Boba Fett was my favorite character next to Han Solo.
Yeah, and even though he was like annoying as a kid, he was just like, a bounty hunter. He was just like, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna get my coins, I'm gonna be out, right? And he always had a crew with him, a crew who did damage, for real.
Yeah, but he was competent in the cartoon though, so that's a factor. Guy, unless what they should have did is Boba Fett has amnesia, and that would explain everything.
You said, like,
how do you not know how to be a crime boss?
Who am I?
Where am I from?
Where
that would have been a better show, right?
Like,
that would have been a better
what's
show.
Your name?
I don't know.
I'm your son.
Like, exactly. Amnesia. I don't know where this armor came from. Is this my armor? Like something like that.
Oh my goodness!
It could have been a better show, and he has to go retrace his thing. Because I think too that was hilarious to me. Is how is this guy middle aged in 40? He's like 40 something. No, in this episode 2, he was 40 something years old. Mm-hmm. So he had to be like almost 60 now. Like how old is he? 50 something years old.
Space years, maybe 100.
He fell into the pit as a 40-year-old man and came out the pit as a 60-year-old man. Mm-hmm. How did this happen? Who gained a lot of weight? I mean, you should just show. Maybe, I don't know, maybe George Lucas cut some extra scenes of what happened in the pit. I don't know. Get an actor to play him. He had a mask on. You don't know what he looks like. That would have been fine. And like, this is his body today. I would have like totally cool. He came out of the pit out of shape. How did this happen?
You said he came. The guy was like, well, you know what? Hey, listen. You can go to like, the island, man, and, come out fat eating all that gel food and everything, probably,
of course, but you're in the desert. You're not
But you can also probably lift weights and you come out all cock diesel and everything, right? He had no weights down there. What is he going to lift? How is he going to work out?
He's got like other
How did he survive, though?
He couldn't have been in the pit that long, like, because maybe a day or two tops. I don't think he could have been in the pit that long. maybe a
Yeah.
day,
It's
maybe.
the whole, like I was saying, man, I really want to like this show, but I can't, I'm give like I said, I
Mhm.
give the whole series like a 5, maybe episode, the last episode maybe pushed it over to a 6, but see that's what
Mhm.
I'm saying. If 7 episodes or 6, the other 6 episodes were like episode 7, I would be
Yeah.
all in.
Yeah, but the reason why you liked it is because the Mandalorian was in it.
You
You
know,
didn't like those episodes because of Boba Fett did something cool and like,
yeah,
oh, Boba Fett, this is why I like this show.
right.
All the last 3 shows were mostly Mandalorian in there.
Yo,
A
dude,
good
like I
chunk of
said,
it.
man, this was like you said, this may have been a rewrite. They may have like gotten to like episode 4 or
I
5, and they stopped at
mhm.
4, and they were like, dude, man, this is not going well. What are we gonna do?
'Cause
Well,
they had to stretch
he's
out
a
a show that was
Mandalorian, so
2
let's bring in this guy. So
yeah, but they had to stretch out a show that was 2 episodes long. Maybe. At best, 2 episodes long, they could've done this.
I don't know,
Easily
man.
got to the point.
This
It's
is
too like,
yeah.
what think about what's happened to him and the time that was while he was there. Half of this stuff could have been a flashback, and he gets to the main story. You could have trimmed a lot of this stuff down and got to it down into 2 episodes.
You could have. Let me ask you this here. So if they come out with a season 2, are you gonna watch it?
I'll watch it for the channel.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna watch it by myself, I'll tell you that much.
I think I would watch it. I think yeah, definitely for the channel, but like I said,
Mhm,
I want to like it, and you can really see and understand, like if you're a Star Wars person and you understand the characters, you
mhm.
know that this character can be, written in such an awesome way, right?
Yeah.
Just based on who he is.
It feels like they were just like, "We gotta get bang this show out as soon as possible. Disney needs more episodes of stuff. Let's go. You got 2 weeks, write the script, let's go." That's what it feels like. It feels rushed and like we need content rather than this is a whole show that we planned out for 2 years. We got the right actors for it. Everything's gelling together. It looks like a good addition to Star Wars. Like, think about it, like if you removed the Boba Fett series from Star Wars canon because it's part of Star Wars canon now, would
Mhm.
you miss it? Would you miss any of this stuff that you're like, oh man, I wish I knew about this story?
No.
I don't care. I didn't care.
What if episode 7 was an episode of The Mandalorian. Like the Mandalorian went
Yeah, let's
to like
say
try to help
this.
him.
This literally could have been one episode in the Mandalorian. Then
Yeah.
Mando shows up, and then season finale is the shootout.
Mhm.
Whatever, done.
Yeah. Because the
That
6
could
episodes was like kind of, did we even need those? You didn't build up anything. I mean, I understand that it went from episode to episode. You're the crime lord. The Pikes are like trying to, work against you, yada yada yada.
yeah,
Everything
but
else, you're
I
building
didn't
that up.
care about the people. I
Yeah.
I like the Wookiee guy because he seemed like he's a badass, although he let me down in this last fight, but that's about it. I didn't really care. I didn't care about anybody on the show. There's
You,
nobody in the show that I was like, "Oh my god, that's my favorite character. I hope to see more of them." I was just like, "That's fine."
and the other thing is, if you look at all the different characters and all the different like groups of people, right?
Mhm.
The Tuscans were the only ones who would like fight hand to hand combat, with their
Yeah,
canes and
everyone's just
everything
shooting
else,
blasters, yeah.
right? But everyone else was shooting blasters from a distance, and it's just like, well, where's the hand to hand? Where's the like, what's going on, right?
Yeah, that's another thing that probably should have
Mhm.
been the show, but, like, you don't do that because that takes choreography and takes work to do that. It's
And
longer to
money.
plan and money.
Maybe they
Gotta
couldn't
get
do it
stunt
because of
people.
like COVID protocols and things like that.
Half of these people were no, more than half. 90% of the people on this show are wearing some kind of prosthetic mask. COVID should be no problem if I got a mask on. Am I
Just
wrong though? Everyone's wearing a mask in the show as an alien or whatever.
not to
Everyone's
mention
wearing a
maybe
mask.
to work, they may ask you to be vaccinated. I don't know, but
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, as far as the people on the show, there's a lot of aliens wearing some kind of prosthetic mask or whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
If
Oh yeah, you
if
mean by
that's the
that? Yeah,
case,
exactly.
yeah, if that's the case,
Yeah,
then
the Pikes
it
were
shouldn't
masked
matter at
up,
all.
dude. They had like
Everybody does. All the
N90.
cast are messed
Yo,
up.
they
Yeah.
the Pikes had like N95, 95 mask on. It's just like, oh, these are the double joints.
Yeah.
Just
Top
like
and bottom,
really.
man.
I'm
That's what I'm saying.
serious.
Like,
Like they
there's
had
a lot
gloves
of
on.
there's a lot of alien creatures on the show, so like it wasn't like everyone's all human.
Right.
Most of the show is like some kind of alien wearing some kind of mask. I
Yeah.
don't think that matters.
That's like so true. So okay, so you would watch the season 2 of Boba Fett because we would review it here on this show. But if you had your druthers, you'd be like, nah, I don't want to watch that. It's almost like,
I would be like, nah.
so you mean if they came out with the second season of Jupiter's Legacy, would you watch that?
I watched that. Absolutely. It's a terrible train
I
wreck.
don't
I
know,
watched that.
man. I don't know if I can. I
I
don't know,
watched
man.
Super Legacy
Okay, what
because I
about
read the
like,
comic book. That's the
mhm.
only reason why I watched it because I read the comic book.
What about the sequel to the Cosmic Sin? Would you watch that?
I
The
draw the
sequel?
line at that. At
Yeah.
that part of it. That's the line.
Like what? Like part 2? Like no, 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 no. I'm not
Oh
doing
hell no!
that.
This guy's done more collaborations with Bruce Willis. For those who don't know, look up our Cosmic Sin
Review,
review.
man. Oh, we
Go watch that,
roasted
and then you
that
understand what
joint.
we're talking about. For anybody who's just new to the channel, there, what the hell are you guys talking about? Go watch that episode with the Cosmic Sin, and you can see what
Yeah.
we're talking about.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
to check out that video, the Cosmic Sin review. It's
hot
hilarious.
trash,
Yeah.
hot trash.
At the so Cobb Vanth, he was killed by Cad Bane.
I like that character. He's all right.
He's in the Bacta tank now. What do you think about that? And then a guy who sort of modifies people, he was there too. Did you see that?
Yeah. So you're gonna bring him back to dead? Like that's why I say that
It's gonna mod him up.
the Cad Bane's got to be still alive. Like Star Wars, they can fix
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
You're not
I
really
want to
dead
see
unless
Cad
they tell you you're
Bane.
dead.
I don't want Cad Bane to be dead, man, because Cad Bane is
Yeah.
bad. I like Cad Bane. You know what I'm saying? He's pretty
He's
dope.
delivering the good one-liners, man. I was like, oh damn. That's why I was like, I need to watch because after I saw him from the last show, I was like, okay, I need to see the Clone Wars. I need to see what he was doing that because I can't remember it.
Yo, what about your girl Finnick just rolling up and just swissing everyone up?
Why didn't you do that in the rest of the show?
Right? It's just
Right?
like, hey,
You're
she's
capable of doing that. Why didn't you do that for the rest of the show?
because she's bad too, man. Just like in the other sort of Star Wars stuff, But she swissed everyone up. That was pretty cool. Okay, Grogu comes on the scene. So Grogu, first of all, Grogu bounced. He was like, Skywalker, I want to be with this guy. Look at him. He bounced.
I said that he don't want to be there. He does not look like he wants to be there at all.
This is going to be
training.
really interesting because we now know what the Mandalorian is going to be about, at least a little bit. We know
Mandalorian
that.
show.
Right. They should call it that. It's the Grogu and Mandalorian show, or something like that for real.
But theme song.
But so he's back. Grogu's using his his powers.
He's using the Force.
He's using the Force. And they're gonna give him another name.
He can change his name. You think so?
Yeah, I think what he needs a killer like DJ name. We gotta you know what? Okay, listen, let's do this. People who watch these videos, who check us out, leave in a comment what would be a great name for Grogu because they're gonna change his name. If you have a great name for Grogu, leave it in the comments.
They gotta come up with something.
Yeah, I gotta come. I don't have anything off the top of my head, but I'm gonna come up with something.
What do you think season 3 of The Mandalorian is gonna be about? Because they spent 2 seasons trying to get him to Luke Skywalker, and they got it to him and came back. So, what's the show gonna be about now?
Well, I think
There's
it's gonna start
really
off
checking for him again.
Yeah, I think it's gonna start off with Grogu by his side. It has to because look where the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah, they're just gonna leave.
Off.
Yeah, they're just flying through space.
Right. So
out of hyperspeed. So yeah,
I don't know. I guess it's just gonna be him, just going from place to place doing bounties like he generally does, which is cool. you know,
Hmm.
because you go to these different planets, these different galaxies, you see different species, different people.
Yeah, but he
It's
can't do
cool.
bounty hunting in that ship. You need more room. It's too small. You can't put any bodies back there. That the
Uh,
back is designed for the Astro droid, the
yeah, that's true.
R2D2.
But Joe, it's
So all
Grogu's spot now.
yeah, he's in the little bubble like the
Yeah,
Pope. So that's it. Got nothing to worry about back there.
like I
So
have to
you
take that
can't
metal
carry
ball
anybody.
away from him because he'll keep hitting the window. Like, dude, come on, I'm trying
Yeah,
to
that'd drive me
concentrate here.
crazy.
Come on.
That would drive me crazy if I was
Yeah,
flying. I would drive me crazy. But like, I guess you could attach like some kind of container underneath the ship. I don't know.
yeah,
Like you need a better ship. That's not a ship for carrying things.
yeah. That's the ship
That's
for
a
getting in and out.
starfighter ship.
True.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like they don't make it. It's not
he'll figure it
practical
out.
at all.
Yeah. You think season 3 of The Mandalorian, here we are talking about The Mandalorian. Last week and the episode after that, we were talking about like
It's not our
the
fault.
Clone
This is Disney's
Wars.
fault.
Um
This is Disney's fault. This is not our fault. We
right.
would love to
So
talk about Boba Fett, but you did this.
exactly, the Clone Wars. Go watch it. Let
Mhm.
me ask you this here. Do you think that with season 2 of Boba Fett, it would
Mhm.
be like the Mandalorian and Grogu would basically be there?
I don't know. I That's a lot to bring another actor in and whatever and all this stuff for Grogu. I don't know if that's a bit much.
Mhm.
They have to separate them, otherwise no one's gonna care. Like the people got more excited because Mandalorian's gonna be on the show, but it's Boba Fett's show. He can't have that kind of thing as a crutch. You have to make his show interesting, and the thing that's stopping it from being interesting is the way they presented it. Because him being in the underworld with all these gangsters is that's a lot of stories to tell.
Yeah.
You got shootouts, you can go after bad guys, you can do all kind of stuff. They didn't do that. They just had him sit around and talk. They
And
have
and
to
the
fix it.
and the other thing is this, right? Um,
Mhm.
it it wouldn't surprise me if they just canceled the show. It would not surprise me at
Oh,
all,
it would not be
right?
surprised me at all.
I would not be surprised. However, if Boba Fett came on the scene and he was a true Mandalorian, this is the way. He didn't take his helmet off. It's very easy to replace the guy who is aging. You know, he's a great actor and everything else.
They should have just
Morrison,
let him do the
yeah,
voice. I'm
Morrison, but it's
sorry.
just like now you could have just replaced him with someone else because the Mandalorian, Boba Fett never took his helmet off, right? So it's just
He's
like,
not supposed to take his helmet off. They should
yeah,
have never done it at all,
yeah.
ever. And
So
they should have let him do the voice and put a younger actor in there for the body. That's what they should have done. And
exactly,
kept the helmet on.
kept the helmet on, dude. Exactly. So it may start off this way,
Mhm.
knowing that this guy is a little older in real life. It may start off with Boba Fett,
Boba Fett's
like,
supposed to be like 41 right now in space years.
yeah, that's not gonna work.
He like
It,
78.
it may start off with like Boba Fett like confessing to the Mandalorian that he wants to live the way of the Mandalorian, which means not taking your helmet off. And then you can sort of start doing a voice and have a younger person in there who can move and everything. It'd be like a smooth transition if you really think about it, right?
You know what? You got to get him back in shape. Got to get back in the fighting weight, and then just change him for somebody else.
Yeah,
And like just let him do the voice. The guy's like 60 years old. Let him relax
yeah.
in a couch and do his voiceover and done.
That's
I
what they did
I
for
don't know why they did
Skywalker,
this.
you know? It's just like, hey.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you got a body double for Luke Skywalker, and it was flawless the second time around.
That
First
was
time it was eerie. I'll say that. The first time it looked really weird. I didn't like it. The second time you perfected it.
it was
Just do that.
pretty on point, wasn't it? I was like, I kept looking. I was like, Is that? Wait, is
Yeah,
who? What?"
it looked eerie how good it was.
Yeah,
It was incredible because if you didn't know that, oh, that guy like 78 years old, you'd be like, oh wait, they got a nice young guy to play the Luke Skywalker in the show. Cool. It looked good. He looked like the movies.
he did. So I think we should like rate the show and also the season, even though we rated the season, earlier in the show. But let's go ahead
So
and
you want
wrap
to do
that up.
this episode and then the season? So
Yeah.
I gave 5 for this season.
Mhm.
This episode I'll give like a 7.
Wow.
I
Okay.
didn't mind it.
Okay. So I am going to give the season, I said a 5 or a 6. I'm leaning towards a 5. Let's just go with the 5. And
Mhm.
I did like episode 7. It was definitely better than 6 and definitely better than everything else ahead of before that. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna give the episode like a 7.5. It was cool. The thing about it is this, right? Which is kind of sad, and we said this, right?
Mhm.
You can't front on the CGI, you can't front on the graphics. Disney is going to knock that out the box all the time, right?
Yeah. I
And
think the issue was writing and
yeah,
probably the putting it
right.
together, directing.
Exactly. Because I really want to like this show, but I just can't right now. So we'll see what happens with the second season. If a second season is coming, who knows? They may cancel the show. I don't know. We'll see. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Behind the Groove podcast. I am Basil Barrington.
I am DJ Keo.
Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And until next time, peace.
All right.